And President Roosevelt has so far lived up to none of his lofty campaign promises. And all we have had from Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his so-called brain trust is a great deal of high-flown talk and virtually no action. In a nation racked by poverty and misery and unemployment, it is deeds we want from the White House, not words. In short, Mr. President, if you are listening, we have had enough of your fireside chats. It's time to...
Criticism. Nothing but criticism.
I know.
It's just awful. Has anybody seen the Washington Post this morning?
My friends, I say again, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Franklin, you've already been elected.
Every cloud has a silver lining. You're never fully dressed without a smile.
Oliver Warbucks and friend, Franklin.
Thank you, Louis. Show them in.
Oliver.
Oliver. Good of you to have come.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Well, who is this we have here?
This is my good friend, Annie.
Annie?
She so wanted to meet you, I couldn't resist bringing her along, just to say hello.
Of course, the little girl who sang so beautifully on the radio last night.
Annie, this is President Roosevelt.
How do you do, President Roosevelt?
How do you do, Annie? You're as lovely as you sounded on the radio.
Thank you, President Roosevelt.
Well, shall we begin?
All right, and if you'll just wait out in the hall.
No, Oliver, let Annie stay. Having a child on hand will keep us on our best behavior.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Harold, I don't want to hear even so much as a gosh out of you.
Franklin, the child.
Now, Oliver, since you represent those happy few Americans who have any money left, I'd like to hear your views on matters.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the words of Calvin Coolidge, the business of this country is business. Yes! And for your sake and mine, Wall Street and this country, we've got to get my factories back open and the people back to work.
Well, according to my figures, there's 15 million Americans out of work and over 50 million people with no means of income.
Mr. President, I don't think unemployment is our worst problem. The dispatches from Germany are getting more and more disturbing. There could be more.
Germany? I don't care. There are people starving in this country.
But Harold, in the long run...
Harold Cordell, for people who are starving, there is no long run.
The trouble is it's all happening at once. The stock market has taken another nosedive.
Sit-down strikes, riots.
Floods, dust storms.
And the FBI still hasn't caught Al Capone. Well, at least we're all agreed on one thing. The situation is hopeless and getting worse.
Perkins, can I see those numbers, please?
So about tomorrow. That's your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Shh! Quiet, little girl.
Harold, what did you say, Annie? Oh, it's all right. Go ahead, my dear. It's still a free country.
Just thinking about tomorrow. There's a way the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just think of my tune and grin and say.
Mr. President, a telegram.
Ah, yes. Excuse me, gentlemen. No, this isn't for me. It's for you, Oliver. From your secretary in New York. Hundreds of couples jamming the street outside the house, all claiming to be Annie's parents.
Oh, boy!
Just a screaming little suggestion return to New York at once, signed Grace Farrell.
Well, I guess the hour of smiles has more listeners than we thought, right?
Gee, hundreds of couples. One of them was bound to be my mother and father.
I suspect you'd better get back to New York immediately.
If you don't mind, Mr. President. Annie.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Annie.
Goodbye, Mr. President, and thank you.
No, thank you. You're the kind of person the president should have around.
Mr. President, what if we set up 1,000 new federal projects?
Railroads and dams.
Yes.
Highway.
Yes, yes.
New post offices.
Yes. And we can set the unemployment to build them.
That's right. We could put to work 5 million people in nearly 6 months.
Yes, and weekly paychecks would get all those billions off relief and back to paying taxes.
We could build a country so strong that no one could defeat us, not even Chancellor Hitler if we were to go to war.
Mr. President, what we need to give this country is nothing less than a new outlook,
A new vision.
A new approach.
A new concept.
a new dedication.
A new horizon.
A new spirit.
A new attitude.
A new deal.
Yes.
Americans, I was right the first time. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're over again. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day.